Okay, so your Phillies did it. We made the postseason. Not the type of seasons we've been accustomed to in Phillies. We came in second place. The Padres kind of had a Phillies-esque season with 110 wins. So we came in second. It was a tight race, man. Like, we were on the bubble even into the last week or so. We went 7-3 in our last 10, which obviously really helped. The Giants went 2-8 in their last 10, and they kind of fell off. So we'll face the Mets in the first round. Would like to point out that the Baltimore Orioles won the AL Mantle Division and are in the postseason. I believe this is their first postseason appearance of this sim. Yes, it sure is. Their high was 88 wins before this, and then 83. So yes, they are, it would be fun for me as an O's fan to face the O's in the World Series. What would we call that? The I-95 battle or something? I don't know. Could say like Mason-Dixon, but that sounds like it's some like North versus South weird thing from some past era. So, yeah. So, anyways, so we'll face the Mets. Expanded standings, plus 148 run differential is second best in the AL. Third best in the majors. Finished right what our Pythagorean says. We were 9-6 in extra inning, 29-21 in one run games. We really went on a run there with those because we were struggling at one point. Just 23-24 against lefties. We are a little too left-handed of a team. But, when your guys are like Soto, Harper, Randolph, like what are you going to do, right? Maybe something to address in the offseason, but let's go ahead and get into the team. So WAR-wise, nobody had like a monster season. I don't know that many people are getting MVP votes here. And maybe some of that said I didn't have guys play as much every day, right? Like, some of these are injury-based, but like Manny, I don't think he was hurt at all, and he played in 140. He started 139 games, so he missed 20 games basically if you look at his games. So, 3 times a month he was getting off, and that's what she said. Because I had Valdez playing every 12th game against lefties and every 15th game against righties, and then every once in a while Manny would just get tired and get a day off. So Soto led the way with WAR and a 143 WRC plus. Stott 3.8 WAR, very defensive driven. He was still above league average with about at 108. Randolph 3.5 WAR, 122 WRC plus. Which is his lowest of his career by a little bit. His average is 131, even with that 122 factored in. He went on a home run binge, I think, late in the season. Ended up with 39 home runs. Let's see. Yeah, 10 in July, 10 in August, 7 in September. So, yeah, second half, he lit it up home run-wise. Machado, solid season. Harper ended up with a nice season. He was really good early in the season and just kind of trailed off at the end. He's almost 36 years old. Perhaps BABIP driven, just a 228 BABIP this year. He's more of a career 305 BABIP. His home run and walk rates were fine. His walk rate was actually good. So maybe it was just a BABIP thing. Do they have like a first half and second half split? They don't, do they? Right? I'm not just looking at it and missing it, am I? Well, anyways, if I am looking at it and missing it, I don't see it. But you can see, his BABIP in August was 132. But just slugging wise, 330 in July, 321 in August. A much better 465 in September. But yeah, he definitely trailed off as the year went on. But still, still a good season. Shoot, if you told me when I started this sim that in 2028 Harper would still put up 3.3 WAR for me, I'd be really happy. He's put up the same last year, but in almost 200 fewer plate appearances because he was hurt, and he played in 108 games as compared to 153 this year. Adames, not his best season at the plate here. He's his first couple seasons he was below league average, but great with the glove. Then he had some really, really great seasons here, and now he's kind of trailed off a little bit. He is 32 now. He just turned 33. So his fielding is still good. He's still a positive player, but he's not putting up the zone ratings he was before. And we've got, I think, 1 year, 2029, then a player option. So, we knew this was going to happen with Adames, and he's still a very usable piece, very useful. So, Drew Romo, solid season. This is just in 94 games. He put up 2.1 WAR. Same with Riggio, 91 games, 1.9 WAR, 128 WRC plus from Riggio. That's nice to see. He's 26 now. Was that the most at bats he's gotten? I know it's actually the fewest he's gotten since his rookie year. But by far his most productive season for us, which is interesting because his strikeout rate was way up. His BABIP was way high, and he was hitting for more power too. Nate Culbertson ended up with a 119 WRC plus, not quite like the monster season that I was expecting from him. 578 plate appearances, 128 starts, so he didn't play every day, but I was hoping for more of a monster season from him, if I'm being honest, but still a solid season. Mike Anthony Valdez ended up turning a really solid season too. Actually, better WRC plus than Culbertson, an equal 1.9 WAR in far fewer games. Defensively is where he kind of costs the team and probably costs himself some more, but I kind of spread it out enough and have him at DH enough that he doesn't hurt me too bad. He only played 16 games at second, and he's bad there, but he can do it every so often. Nicholas Perez certainly did not do anything to lock down the utility role coming in next year. Drew Gray, very limited action. Enrique Bradfield certainly didn't do anything to barge his way into the outfield conversation for next year. And Hedges really struggled this year. This is the first year he's really looked old and over the hill, even though his ratings have told us that for a while. His bat really dropped off this year, where he'd been in the 80 to 90 range the last several years, a 46 this year, and actually a negative WAR player. And as I said, coming into the year, it was probably his last year with us. Pitching side of things, Trevor Rogers was great. He was top 10 in many categories, including I think WAR, R-WAR, strikeouts per 9. Just a really nice season from him. Not quite as good with the R-WARs last year, but the ERA it's interesting. He pitched, his R-WAR was 5.4 with a 3.6 ERA. And here, 3.64 ERA gave him 4.7 WAR. Interesting. Led the league in Ks per 9 again. Just a really big year, which we needed with Nola and Abel out hurt, and then Segovia just being a shell of himself. That was huge for us. Luis Patino came over, was nice for us in the 17 games with a 3.61 ERA. Corbin Burns ended up being a good pickup. ERA more than FIP-wise, but hey, man, we're judging by what has happened. And what happened is he limited runs. He closed out the season with 5 innings of no-hit ball, and he put up a 3.72 ERA and a 5.30 FIP for us in 46 innings. So, I mean, striking out he walked 4.3 guys per round, struck out just 6.8. Not really a model for sustainable success, but he got good results for us, so that's good to see. Jason Diaz, he pitched some in the bullpen, but he made 24 starts and he was good. 3.61 ERA, 4.42 FIP. The ERA is 21% better than league average. The FIP is basically exactly league average. We'll take that as his first year fully in the rotation here. It actually hadn't started a game for us before this, so our 4th round pick from 2023 looking good. Carter Daniels was kind of up and down at times. Pitched well sometimes. He pitched in 43 games, 17 of them starts. An ERA plus of 97, which is 3% worse than league average. A FIP of 4.08, which is 7% better than league average. He struck out 11.5 guys per 9, but a lot of that was bullpen fueled. You can see when he was in the rotation, he didn't have nearly as good strikeout numbers. 9.8 per 9, but in the bullpen he was 15.1 guys per 9. So he certainly, his FIP minus as a reliever was 75. He's 25% above league average. So do you want a really awesome reliever or a league average starter, I guess is your question with him. He's still just 25. He could grow. I think I'm interested in seeing him in the rotation again next year. And if not, could you imagine this guy in a stopper role? Like, he'd be a monster. Because his stuff, I think, goes up to 80 as a reliever. All right, and then let's look at the bullpen real quick. Doval was good for us. He came over and he was solid. He threw 49 innings. Actually, he's better than solid. 49 innings, but a 1.5 WAR, 2.2 WAR, with a 1.84 ERA. Just really, really good. Let's go up here for some of these guys. Fairbanks had a solid year with a 3.29 ERA. Taylor Hearn, very solid year, 2.96 ERA, 2.95 FIP. Burl Caraway bounced back and had a good year with a 2.29 ERA. Will Carson got moved out of the rotation, but still, I'm going to call it a decent rookie year. 139 innings with a 4.06 ERA and a 4.69 nice FIP. He was solid. He was good. I'm looking forward to seeing him hopefully back in the rotation next year. Kyle Mott was fine. Had some bad luck as FIP was much better than his ERA. Josh Ward got up for a little bit of time here at the end and pitched 14 innings and was totally fine. Drew Gray, who is our two-way player, second-round pick from 2024. He only got 22 plate appearances. Not really much of a hitter for me. I don't think he will be. But he pitched 93 innings, including one start, and he put up a 2.80 ERA and a 3.40 FIP, both which are well above average. So he's looking like a piece of the bullpen moving forward. We ended up in runs scored 5th in the NL, runs allowed 3rd in the NL. Our fielding was towards the top, but not exactly top. OPS 6th. On base 4th, home run 2nd, and yeah, so ERA we were 3rd, which is the same as runs allowed. You can see we only went 14 and 13 in September. That's not ideal when you're trying to hold on to a playoff spot, but we pulled it out in the end. We got swept by the Padres again, and so now we go on to face the Mets, and so the Mets they won 95 games. They still have Lindor. They have Pete Crow, Armstrong, Noah Syndergaard, Jack Flaherty's there. That's fun. Just real quick, war-wise, Lindor led the way for him. And this guy is Mike McClevin. He is their first-round pick from 2026. He put up 4.3 WAR. He looks like just an awesome fielder. Bregman's here. Oops, wrong guy. Bregman is here. He put up 2.6 WARs, a 34-year-old. Yeah, and pitching-wise, anybody really dominant here? Nah, Ramon Perez is decent. A guy they got from San Diego. Let's see, runs scored, they were 6th. Runs allowed, they were 4th. They were the top fielding team in the league. They ended the season with a 16-11 month. Yeah, I mean, I think this is a pretty good team here, and hopefully luck will be on our side. They made the playoffs in 2021 and 2022 and have not made it since. So looks like they finished in 5th a couple of times and missed it by just a game. So I don't feel like this is like, oh, this is our year, we're definitely going to do it. Where the last few years, like I felt like we were the best team, and if we didn't win, that's just kind of the way the playoffs go. The best team isn't going to always win short 7-game series. I think we're certainly capable of winning the World Series, but I would not say I'm like super optimistic about this team just because of the injuries to the pitching staff, whether it be age or just down seasons. Machado and Harper aren't up to the normal selves. And I forgot this was one major thing. Pache is out for the season. He tore his meniscus, and Pop is also out for the year with shoulder inflammation. So that's why you didn't see Pache in that final thing. But he had a really, really terrible year, 67 WRC plus. Still put up 1.5 WAR because he's just a beast with the glove. So, 13.7 zone rating in 107 games. He'll probably win another Gold Glove this year. He's won, I think, 4 of the last 5 and 3 in a row. So we'll miss him. I'll have to decide between Bradfield, who's the better fielder, and Riggio, who's the much better hitter. But Bradfield kind of struggled in his time in center field, a minus 3.1 zone rating, but a plus 3.6 in AAA in center field. So I'll probably go with Riggio, to be honest, because he's fine enough in center, I guess, with a minus 3.3 in 42 games. So we'll see. But yeah, that Pache injury definitely is a big one. But now let's go ahead and see what we can do against the New York Mets. So for the second time in the last 3 seasons, the NLCS will be the Padres against the Phillies. We beat the Mets 4-1. The Orioles, of course, swept the Angels. Small market AL East battle here between the O's and the Rays in the ALCS. NLCS, Padres versus Phillies again. How do we get there? Well, really good pitching, honestly. We won game 1 4-0. Rogers went 7 innings, 3 hits, didn't allow any runs. Duvall and Hearn finished it out. We got a double from a double from Romo, who went 1 for 3. Riggio had a home run. He went 2 for 3 and drove in 2 runs. Stott also had a multi-hit game and scored twice. And then game 2, we lost 2-1. We wasted a good outing from Patino, who went 5 1/3, 2 hits, 4 walks, 2 runs, 3 Ks. And then the bullpen, Fox, Hearn, and Fairbanks shut him down. No extra base hits. Only one multi-hit game. That was from Stott, who went 2 for 4 with a ribby. And then in game 3, we beat the Mets 8-1. We had home runs from Stott and Romo. Romo went 2 for 3. Stott went 1 for 4 with a 3-run homer in the 7th that put the game really out of reach. And Juan Soto is still looking for his first hit of the series. Look at these out. I mean, look at Soto, Randolph, Machado, Culbertson, Harper, all batting anywhere between 0 and 111. Daniels, great start from our youngster, 7 innings, 5 hits, a run, did not walk a batter, 6 strikeouts. Corbin Burns in the bullpen. I went with Daniels and Diaz, the youth over Burns. And let's see, what game was this? The game we just looked at? No, okay, sorry, I was confused there for a second. We won 6-3 here. Drew Romo homered again. He had a solo homer in the 3rd. Randolph and Bradfield also homered. Bradfield came in for Riggio, who got hurt. He's just day-to-day. He'll be all right, but Bradfield went 3 for 4 with a long ball. Adames had 2 hits. Randolph had 2 hits. And Diaz went 6 innings, 6 hits, a walk, 2 Ks, no runs. Mott and Duvall closed it out not with the sharpest of outings, but they got the job done. 6-3, we won the last game. Stott, who went 375, 5 runs, 5 RBI, gets series MVP. He went 1 for 2 in this game with a home run. Culbertson went deep. Manny went deep. Harper went deep. Manny and Harper both homered in the first inning. Manny a 2-run homer and Harper a 2-run homer. So we were up 4-0 after 1. Rogers shut it down 6 2/3, and then Hearn and Duvall came in from the pen to finish it. So now we'll go on to hopefully finish off the Padres, to face the Padres. Still led by Fernando Tatis, his 7.5 WAR this season. That'll be okay. He's hurt with unknown recovery time. Only influences his running, so we'll assume he's going to be in their lineup every day. Runs scored 4th in the NL. Runs allowed 1st in the NL. First starters ERA, 2nd in bullpen ERA. Hey-o, let's go. I mean, this is the team. 110 wins. This is the team to beat. They are, they're kind of the Phillies of 2028 here. So we'll try to go out to San Diego, grab a game or 2, and then come home and try to give our fans a treat and pull off the upset. The underdog Phillies, the underdog 3-time defending champs, headed to San Diego to try to do the thing. Well, the Phillies are going back to the World Series, knocking off the 110-win Padres in just 5 games. We're on to face the Rays. So, game 1, we came out and we won 5-1. We got home runs from Romo and Soto, doubles from Culbertson, Riggio, Romo, and Machado. Unfortunately, Manny got hurt on that double running the bases. He strained his PCL. He's out for 6 weeks. He's done. So Mike Anthony Valdez steps in as our starting 3rd baseman. Luis Patino, 6 shutout innings, and we were on our way. And so game 2, though, we stalled out a little bit. We lost 3-0. We only got 6 hits. Perez in at 3rd base for this game, while Manny was out without the official diagnosis yet. He was our only multi-hit guy. Rogers, 6 innings, 3 runs. Fox and Mott cleaned up well, but we couldn't dent the old Padres there. So we came back with a shutout of our own in game 3, the only home run being Bryce Harper's solo home run in the 2nd inning. And Carter Daniels, 5 shutout innings, 3 hits, 5 walks, 6 Ks, Fox, Hearn, and Duvall shut it down from there, giving up just 1 hit the rest of the way. We only had 5 hits. 2 were from Riggio, 2 were from Randolph, and then the solo homer from Bryce. And look at these averages: 107 from Harper, 115 from Soto, 115 from Harper. Next game, 7-5 win. Soto went 1 for 4 with 3 RBIs, a bases loaded double. Adames had a home run. Randolph had a home run. Riggio had a multi-hit game. And Diaz struggled 2 1/3, 5 runs, but then Gray, Mott, and Duvall shut it down from there the rest of the way. I mean, that's awesome. Only 2 hits. And then in Game 5, we won 8-5. We had doubles from Culbertson. Valdez had an RBI double. Adames drove in a run with a double. Randolph went deep. He got series MVP. And so he's up to 275 now. I know, I'm not a huge batting average is everything guy, but in the box score stats, I mean, Harper at 121, Culbertson 162, Valdez at 200, Soto at 147. Manny's out, and then on top of that, so Patino, you see, went 4 innings with a hit, a walk, 7 Ks, just dominant, and then he got hurt. He's out for 8 to 9 months with radial nerve decompression surgery. He was a free agent after the year. He's a guy I was thinking of bringing back. I mean, now there's no way I will, unless he decides to get realistic with his ask now that he's hurt. But obviously, really disappointing for the World Series because he was our number 2 starter. So Burns got rocked, and then Karsten didn't, and Carraway didn't pitch that great either. Hearn shut it down 2 shutout innings, and our offense was good enough with a 7-run 3rd inning. So now we'll go on to face the Rays. So the Rays are led by Wander Franco, Brujan, DeCenzo. Nick Bitsko, Yarborough's still there, McKay's still there. Cool. All right. Offense-wise, 4th best in runs scored, tied for 2nd best in runs allowed in the AL. Their defense is really bad. Wow, their bullpen isn't great. Let's see in terms of WAR. So Franco put up 9.2 WAR, then 4 from DeCenzo, 3.4 from Brujan, and then a bunch of dudes. And pitching-wise, it looked like Bitsko is definitely their best starter. And they drafted him, I think, 2019 draft, right? Oh, no, that was the 2020 draft. Okay, gotcha, right. He went 24th to them. All right, so let's go ahead and try to make it 4 straight. Let's do that. All right, well, it looks like the Padres took it all out of us, beating them. We got swept by the Rays. We lost 6-4 in Game 1. Rogers did not pitch well, 5 runs in 4 2/3. We got a home run from Culbertson, a double from Riggio, a couple hits from Stott. Next game, we lost 5-3. Daniels pitched solidly for us, but then Hearn kind of imploded, giving up 3 runs in a third of an inning. We got a home run from Bryce Harper, who went 1 for 3 to bring his average all the way up to 154 for the postseason. Randolph at 159. I mean, how are we even in the World Series? We lost 5-4 in Game 3, and Corbin Burns gave up all of the runs in the first 3 innings, forced into the rotation because of the Patino injury. Gray, Carson, and Duvall tried to keep the train on the tracks, but our offense just couldn't get back in it. We got a home run from Mike Anthony Valdez, a double from Culbertson and Adames, and a triple from Soto. Harper drove in 2 runs with a single. And then we went down without a fight, 4-0 in the last game. We got shut out by Strotman, and then who was the opener, and then McKay, the follower. Diaz went 4 innings, 4 runs for us, and the bullpen pitched well, only gave up 1 hit over the final 6 innings, but we got 1 hit. Stott had a double in the 8th off McKay. That was our only hit, and that was all she wrote. I don't know, man. Like, honestly, getting so close to winning, a 5th in a row or whatever it is, it sucks to lose it in the World Series. At the same time, with all the injuries like Nola and Abel, and then Manny in the postseason, Patino in the postseason, we had 2 more relievers get hurt in the World Series. Both Hearn and Mason Fox went down. Hearn, I think, was in the last game he got hurt. We dealt with more injuries this year than we have, and they were just such big injuries. I mean, early in the season, losing 2/5 of your starting rotation, then Segovia basically being 3/5. Pretty decent season. I'll take it overall, but it is disappointing to get that close to going for another one in a row and not being able to get it done. So anyways, I've stayed up well past my bedtime doing this tonight. So since my infant daughter will be up soon, we'll get to the off season in the next video. And your Phils didn't get it done this year, but they made the World Series again, man. We're a dynasty. We're on an impressive run. We've got a team coming back next year that might be a little old to do it again, but we're going to give it our best. We've got some work to do in the offseason, which we'll get into further, but our rotation is so inexperienced. I was hoping to make a run at Patino, but now he's out for 8 to 9 months. He's got a major injury. Don't feel like shelling out an 8-year deal to him. Nola and Abel are not going to be back at the beginning of the season. Nola's out for another 7 to 8 months. Abel's another 7 months. So they're going to be back like May-ish, I guess. And we've got Manny getting older, Harper getting older, Pache has had a couple down years in a row. Adame seems to be fading. Soto has just not been a superstar, I guess is the best way to put it, right? This season was cut short because he was a superstar his first season and a half here, right? 4.8 WAR in 70 games, and then 8.5 WAR the next year, but then 1.2 WAR in his injury year, and then he came back with a 4.7 and a 4.8. His WRC plus for his career is a 156. He's been 137 and 143 the last years. That 156 is with these included, so it was even higher before that. So Soto hasn't been a superstar the last 2 seasons. He's been a star player, an all-star player, one of the probably top 20 hitters in the game, top 10 maybe. But we need him at this point to be carrying the load for this team. We have other star players, but we need Soto to be a superstar, I think, with some of the guys who are going to be fading because of age. So we'll get into that more in the off-season video, but that's all for the 2028 Phillies. We'll see you guys as we start planning for the 2029 season.